All right, YouTube, next up, we got how Nick Galis dominated Europe and changed basketball forever. Let's get into it. If you're new, like, comment, subscribe. We're going to deep dive straight into this video, all right? Y'all been giving me hell. Y'all have been giving me hell for that Nick Galis isn't number one or Giannis isn't number one top tick Greek video. Y'all still commenting on it right now. And I appreciate the love because y'all are just trying to make me more knowledgeable, or y'all just trying to give me information. Y'all trying to give me y'all perspective. But we got another video featuring Nick Galis, how he dominated Europe and changed basketball forever. I've never seen this video, right? Nobody told me to watch it, but it popped up on the feed because many of y'all are typing Nick Galis. So obviously YouTube does its thing, but we're gonna see what this shit talking about. All right. Shout out EuroLeague Stories. Make sure y'all give them a subscription. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to us right now. Hit that bell for our notifications. Follow me on Instagram, on all of my social medias. Go spam all of my social medias as you see this. All right. And let me know what y'all think if Nick Galis is number one in Greek history for being the best player ever. All right. How Nick Galis dominated Europe and changed basketball forever. Let's get into it.
In sports, some moments transcend competition to become defining milestones of cultural and national significance.
Yeah.
For Greece, such a moment came in 1987 when Nick Galis led the national basketball team to its first EuroBasket championship.
Okay. All right.
The triumph wasn't just a historic win.
What was that? Hold on.
EuroBasket championship.
Oh, 1987 MVP.
The triumph wasn't just a historic win. It was a seismic shift in the nation's sporting identity.
Okay.
Galis, a player whose scoring dominance and relentless determination left an indelible mark, didn't just inspire his teammates. He lifted an entire country onto the global basketball stage.
Yep.
His story is one of persistence, skill, and a vision that turned Greece from an outsider in the basketball world into a force to be reckoned with.
Now, one thing that I do not do, right, as a basketball player, or even just having a basketball mind, I know that everybody gets older, right? Even when he just had like the little mini fro, you could tell that he was younger. Obviously, he's an old man right now. No disrespect, right? But obviously, he's older right now. But when he was younger, he was he was killing niggas, right? So I'm not going to make it seem like at one point or at one time he wasn't young, or at one time he couldn't do the stuff that we see nowadays. He definitely could. I just wasn't there to see it, or I've never seen it before. So seeing all these moves, seeing like the actual good clips where you can actually see the highlights, not just the pixelated shit or not just the black and white, like that still gives me to this day a broader perspective on what Nick Galis can actually do. Mind you, we've only seen one or two highlights, so that's not really giving me a crazy idea of what he can do, but I'm just looking at his movement, right? Movement is a very, very big thing. It's a very big thing. Off your movement, you could tell how somebody moves if you like study this shit, right? So I'm gonna rewind it a little bit. I'm gonna let the video keep going, but I just had to say that, like, there's no knock on anybody that's an older basketball player because at one point in time you were young. So I already know that when you were young, you were moving like a young person, or you were moving like somebody who is younger. Duh.
Greece from stage. His story is one of persistence,
And it's so effortless.
skill, and a vision that turned Greece from an outsider in the basketball world into a force to be reckoned with. Born Nikolaos Georgalis in 1957.
July 23rd, 1957. I was born July 24th. My sister is born on July 23rd. So even then, me and Nick are here. He's one day after my birthday. Yeah, he might be 67, 77, 87, 97. He might be 41 years older than me, but like, it's cool. Like, we still locked in. Leos for life.
In Union City, New Jersey, Galis grew up the son of Greek immigrants. His parents epitomized the working-class immigrant spirit, emphasizing discipline, humility, and an unyielding work ethic.
Yep.
These values would become the bedrock of Galis's character, influencing both his athletic and personal life. His father, a former boxer, tried to guide young Nick toward the ring, but the call of basketball soon became irresistible. In the 1960s and 70s, Union City's basketball courts were rough proving grounds. players honed their craft in fast-paced, physical games where toughness mattered as much as skill.
Yep.
Galis, though undersized compared to many of his peers, quickly distinguished himself with his relentless drive, a lightning-quick first step, and a natural knack for scoring.
Yep.
These early experiences instilled a resilience that would define his game throughout his career. By the time Galis entered high school, he was already a standout, known for his scoring prowess and ability to take control of games. His success earned him a scholarship to Seton Hall University.
So he went to Seton Hall. To the left, Nick Galis being awarded for his performances in the NCAA league. Next to him stands his coach, Bill Raftery.
Where his talent flourished.
My bad. Bill Raftery. Raftery?
Seton Hall University, where his talent flourished under the structured guidance of collegiate basketball.
Yep.
At Seton Hall, Galis became one of the most prolific scorers in college basketball. Averaging 27.5 points per game in his senior year, he drew national attention for his precision shooting and ability to score under any circumstance. His mastery of the mid-range jumper, he sharpened through relentless repetition, set him apart as a player whose focus on fundamentals was unmatched. Despite his collegiate success, Galis faced doubts from NBA scouts. At 6'0", he lacked the size and explosiveness typically valued in NBA guards. Nevertheless, the Boston Celtics selected him in the fourth round of the 1970s.
The Boston Celtics? Nah, but off of just looking at his highlights off of just the eye test, you could tell that he loved getting to the basket. You could tell that he was crazy athletic. Not crazy athletic, but crazy athletic. You could tell he was a high flyer. Not necessarily in a dunking sense, but he liked to do acrobatic layups. He liked to double pump here, wait for the defender to jump up and under. He liked doing stuff like that. So when I say athletic, when I say high flyer, I mean in that sense. You could tell he can shoot it a little bit. He likes to get in the mid-range. Obviously, when they were playing, they didn't always have a three-point line, so it was no reason for you to shoot three-point range if there was no three-point line. But with the rules that they had, it looked like he was dominating. It looked like he got to anything he wanted to, whether it was a spin move, whether it was an in and out, a stutter dribble, and then go finish. He had that in the bag, for sure.
NBA draft. A preseason injury, combined with a crowded Celtics roster, dashed his NBA hopes. While a bitter disappointment, this setback redirected Galis' journey toward Europe, where his legacy would take shape. In 1979, Galis signed with Aris Thessaloniki in Greece. At the time, Greek basketball was a niche sport with limited infrastructure and fan interest. Galis' arrival changed everything. From his debut, it was clear he was a transformative player. Averaging over 30 points per game in domestic and European competitions, Galis dominated the league.
This is another big thing to note. Because he got drafted by the Celtics, right? Injury, and then by them having a stacked roster and him coming back to Europe, that still gave him the value, right, to change stuff in Europe. Meaning, because European basketball was not as big, just like how the narrator said they didn't have a whole lot of infrastructure, he changed that culture because they seen the potential in him, right? If he would have went to the NBA and he would have dominated in the NBA, that low-key would have been exactly like his situation and when he came back to Europe and just started playing after he was drafted, because his value is still sky high, right? Your value is NBA, right? League ready, right? They drafted you. So now that you're going, and this is all my perspective, right? Because that's low-key how it is nowadays. It may not be the best player going from the NBA to overseas, but the player's value when they hit the league or when they play in the NBA and then they go overseas, their value is always going to be more, or it's always going to be higher. So the fact that he kind of had that NBA stamp before even playing in the NBA, right? And then he went to Europe back home. You knew obviously the community, the country was going to be behind him when he went back home, right? But at the same time, his value was so high that it low-key almost made it a possibility for him to change and open doors and do stuff like that because of the commodity he was before he went back home and played. If that makes any sense. If it doesn't make sense, please let me know. But that's just my assessment from the situation that he had at hand, right?
Galis dominated the league, leading Aris to 8 Greek League championships and 3 European Cup Final Four appearances. Galis brought a professionalism that was rare in Greece at the time. His rigorous training, laser-focused mentality, and unmatched scoring electrified fans. Under his leadership, Aris
the three-point line is in full effect now.
Became synonymous with excellence, and their games turned into national events. Packed arenas and fervent rivalries with teams like Panathinaikos and Olympiakos began to redefine the Greek sports landscape. Beyond his scoring, Galis had a unique ability to inspire. His passion and tenacity galvanized his teammates, elevating their performances and turning Aris into a basketball powerhouse. His ability to deliver in high-stakes moments earned him a reputation as a player who thrived under pressure, making him both feared and revered. Galis' influence extended far beyond the court. His success ignited a basketball revolution in Greece, inspiring thousands of young players who saw in him a path to greatness. Before Galis, basketball had been an afterthought in a country dominated by soccer.
That's almost like what made it impossible. And he made the impossible possible, right? Because soccer has a very, very big following. Football, not football, NFL football. Football, MLS, they have a very, very big following. And if you're another country, for the US it's a little bit different, but for another country, football can be like the most notorious sport in that country. Like it could be the most populated sport in that country, right? So for him to have to compete against a whole different sport in population, right? And he overcame all that. I understand why you guys are saying that he is the GOAT, because he had a bunch of different like impossible situations happen to him, and he made the best of it. And then he looks back at it and like he opened doors for so many other basketball players from where he comes from. That is just like, you can't not give him that stamp that he's the GOAT. And I completely understand it.
After him, it became a national obsession. Television broadcasts of Aris games brought basketball into Greek households. While Galis' performances drew widespread media attention. Sponsors, recognizing the sport's growing popularity, poured resources into teams and infrastructure. Suddenly, basketball was no longer a fringe activity. It was a national passion. Galis' impact wasn't limited to domestic leagues. His dominance in European competitions elevated Greece's reputation on the international stage. He proved that Greek teams could compete with Europe's elite, paving the way for future generations of players and coaches. The pinnacle of Galis' career, and the moment that cemented his legacy, came in 1987 at the European Championship, EuroBasket. Greece entered the tournament as an underdog, facing formidable opponents like Yugoslavia and the Soviet Union. Few believed they could contend with Europe's basketball powerhouses, but Galis saw an opportunity to defy expectations. Game by game, Galis led Greece with performances that were as dominant as they were inspirational. In the semi-final against Yugoslavia, he scored 30 points, outplaying some of the continent's best players. The final, a showdown against the Soviet Union, became the defining moment of his career. In front of a raucous home crowd, Galis delivered a masterclass in scoring and leadership. Despite facing one of Europe's most disciplined defenses, he scored 40 points, leading Greece to a dramatic 1.
And nobody will ever knock how many points he scores. Like, no matter what the competition looks like you still got to go out there and score 40 on professional basketball players. So when I hear that he averages 37 points, when I hear that he dropped 28, he dropped 30, he dropped 40 in the championship, like, that shit is impressive to me. Some people will try to dumb it down and be like, oh, well, who is he playing against? I know these aren't little kids that he's playing against. I know these are professional, grown-ass men who are also trying to put up those same amount of points on him, right? And some of them, most of them can't do it. Just like how we just seen on one of these last, like, tweets or whatever you want to call this screen right here, one of these informative screens. The dude on the other team had 28, he had 30, he still won a game. You feel me? He going head to head with some of the best. With some of the best. Right here. Drazen Petrovic answered with 28 and secured the title. Oh. Yugoslavia beat them.
the continent's best players.
Yugoslavia beat them that year.
Yugoslavia, he scored 30 points,
Okay.
outplaying.
Okay. So Yugoslavia even won that game. He had 30. He lost. So that kind of diminishes your 30 that you have. But he was still competing with the best of the best, and they were the underdogs. Yugoslavia was the top dog, or they were better than them. They were ranked higher than them. So, in that sense,
continent's best players. The final, a showdown against the Soviet Union, became the defining moment of his career. In front of a raucous home crowd in Athens, Galis delivered a masterclass in scoring and leadership. Despite facing one of Europe's most disciplined defenses, he scored 40 points, leading Greece to a dramatic 101 overtime victory. The win wasn't just a basketball triumph. It was a national celebration that united millions of Greeks in pride and joy.
Yeah, that's fire.
For a country grappling with economic and political struggles, the victory symbolized hope and resilience. The impact of the 1987 EuroBasket victory was profound. It marked the beginning of a golden era for Greek basketball, with the national team becoming a regular contender on the international stage. Galis' leadership and scoring prowess during the tournament remain legendary, and his performance in the final is still regarded as one of the greatest in basketball history. For Greek fans, the victory transcended sports. It was a unifying moment, a shared triumph that brought the country together during a challenging period. Galis, the architect of this historic achievement, became more than a basketball star. He became a national hero. By the time Galis retired in 1994, he had reshaped Greek basketball.
At the age of 37, Galis played in his last game in professional basketball as a player of Panathinaikos Athens on October 12, 1994. It was a game against Daphne Athens in Week 1 of the Greeks League's 1994-95 season. In that game, Galis scored a total of 8 points, 2 for 2, 3 for 3, in 35 minutes of playing time.
The infrastructure, fan base, and youth programs that blossomed during his career continue to thrive today. Players like Panagiotis Giannakis, Vasilis Spanoulis, and Giannis Antetokounmpo owe a debt to Galis for paving the way. His influence wasn't confined to Greece. As one of the greatest European players of all time, Galis became a symbol of European basketball's ability to produce world-class talent. His career averages of over 30 points per game in European competition remain unmatched, and his dedication to the sport set a standard for professionalism that influenced countless players and coaches. In 2017, Galis was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame, a crowning achievement.
That's absolutely fire. That's fire that he didn't play a game in the NBA, but they inducted him into the Hall of Fame and they recognized all his accolades, achievements, and all the doors that he opened up for his people. That shit is fire.
That confirmed his place among basketball's all-time greats. The honor was not just a recognition of his individual brilliance, but also a testament to his transformative impact on the game.
Fact.
Nick Galis is more than a basketball legend. He is a cultural icon whose story embodies the power of perseverance and vision. From the playgrounds of Union City to the heights of European basketball, Galis' journey is a testament to the impact one individual can have on an entire nation. By leading Greece to glory in 1987 and elevating basketball to a cornerstone of Greek culture, he didn't just change the game, he changed the country. For Greece, Galis isn't just remembered as the greatest player in its history. He is remembered as the hero who redefined what was possible and left a legacy that will endure for generations.
This was fire. I appreciate this video because it makes me appreciate Nick Galis more and more, especially for the players that are coming up under him. Just like Giannis, just like Spagnolo, like they just said, they didn't say Papagiannis. Who was the last player that they just said?
Continue to thrive today. Players like Panagiotis
Giannakis.
Vasilis Spanoulis.
Yeah, Spanoulis. There we go. He paved the way. He paved the way. And I needed to see this because this gives me more information. This helps me understand what you guys are talking about. If y'all agree everything to this story, please let me know in the comment section. If y'all still feel like there's a greater GOAT, a greatest of all time, European, from Europe or from Greece, please let me know. But this gave me some better insight on what we've been talking about for the last week, week and a half, right? So make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We always informing ourselves. We always making ourselves more knowledgeable with this kind of information, with these kind of videos. So please keep showing y'all love. Please keep showing y'all support. And I'll see y'all very soon.